Right. No, that's not gonna work. I got on Zoom here. I gotta send myself the link. Closed out for some reason. About 80,000 tabs open. I do that a lot.
So.
I didn't even look at it over the weekend. I mean, I looked at it a little bit Friday afternoon. Friday afternoon? Yeah, I looked at a little bit of it. You know, I think that it is not. But I think that the old law applies. Nobody objected.
So.
Have to object for the last, you know, I'm like, I think he had to object. I'm kind of there. But it definitely wasn't a fine. You go and look at everything. And Chris's testimony was kind of the same thing, like, no, it wasn't intended to be a fine. And I did find a case when I was researching Friday. It said it doesn't matter in the court of appeals, whatever machinations you may use to get around the statutory deadline, doesn't matter. They even use that term. There was something similar to that, where they entered into a Rule 11 agreement. Not supposed to do that. Yeah, that doesn't cut it either. I saw that. But yeah, missed the one I read. The parties have entered into a Rule 11 agreement. And it's like, you can't contract around the statutory deadline. I feel free, like I've been set free. No more glass. Somebody will throw something at me. What? All right, I think we got all the stuff up and running. It's right at 9 o'clock, and so open announcements on the. We don't have anybody via Zoom, but open announcements on the 9 a.m. docket. Mr. Head. Yeah, I show him low cost across the street bonds.
I'll step outside.
Okay. Have anybody else here? It's just all of the state and inmates.
Stevens had to go to the parking lot.
What about Mr. Green? I saw Mr. Mills. All right, let's see. If I say your name, there's nobody here other than inmates. Can you see if there's a Troy Aldridge in the? Yep. Then just stay there at the door because I'm going to announce some other ones. Got Ronnie Jr. with us. He looked just like Ronnie, but 10 years younger, 20 years old.
No answer, sir.
How about, let me give you another one, Jennifer Vandeveer. All right, let's try. I know he said Jeffrey Rice wasn't here. Cassandra Jackson. we're back. We're hitless. Wearing the golden sombrero this morning.
No answer, Judge.
Okay.
I'm trying to locate Mr. Rice, but if the court wants to call it, I'll step next door, or the court wants me to just report back.
I mean, it's right at 9. Of course, I try to give people a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, but I'll just call it and then, we'll see what happens. This is CR 20-0331-173 and CR 20-0332-173, both styled the state of Texas versus Jeffrey Rice Jr. Is there a Jeffrey Rice Jr. in the courtroom? I hear no answer. There's not a Jeffrey Rice Jr. appearing via Zoom. Is there one in the lobby? If you'll announce the name 3 times.
No answer, Judge.
All right, it is 9:03. The docket was set for 9 o'clock. Mr. Rice is not in the courtroom in the lobby or appearing via Zoom. The court will entertain a motion.
Thank you, Judge. State request bond forfeiture.
Granted, KP so issue, he'll be held with no bond. And again, I'm here this morning, not this afternoon. So
Yes, with the court's permission, I'll step next
Yes, sir.
door, and we're trying to see if we can locate him, and I'll report back.
yes, sir. We might as well go through these other ones. We don't know where Mr. Green is. And I see Cernot. Gotcha. Lisa Armstrong? No? In the back?
She's in the back.
You must be then. Yellow, okay, I see you. And then Cody Coates. All right, that takes care of all the people in custody. Well, let's just go through the list so we're not here all day waiting for them. I'm gonna start at the top. Cause number CR 20-0238-392, the state of Texas versus Troy Aldridge. Is there a Troy Aldridge in the courtroom? Is there a Troy Aldridge appearing via Zoom? Is there a Troy Aldridge in the lobby? You announce his name 3 times.
I will.
I don't know what to say, Judge.
Well, there's nobody here, which is why we started announcing names. There's nobody here. All right, the time is now 9:05. Mr. Aldridge is not here. The docket was set for 9 a.m. The court will entertain a motion. Granted, KP so issue, he'll be held with no bond, and I'll be here all morning with Steve if you find me.
My memory serves me correctly. Brandy indicated that she was in contact with me.
Are you ready on Mr. Cernot? Or do y'all need to talk?
No, we don't need to talk, Judge. It's just, you just set it for status conference to keep it on the docket. I know.
Come on up, Mr. Cernot. This is cause number CR 20-0235-392, the state of Texas versus Michael Cernot, and set for status.
Judge, Mr. Cox had requested some documents via subpoena. We're still waiting on those documents.
Okay.
And that was the reason that you set it today, since we had set it for that special setting in December. So just to keep track of what's going on.
Can I see the docket sheet? So we last were here in April.
Yes,
And what documents are we looking for?
I think he was gave me a general answer of some medical records and maybe some financial records.
I would imagine they'll be coming back pretty soon.
I don't have pretty soon on my calendar. I don't know, has that a week, 3 weeks, a month?
I would just say if we just keep it on a monthly status still, that way we can.
June 3rd? It's not quite a month, but that's when we already had them reset, on at least on, that's when our potential reset is, because I have that on my docket.
I think June 3rd works for me, Judge.
Okay, let's just do June 3rd, 1:30, Mr. Cernot. So we'll see you then.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Green.
Let's try to make things easier for you.
Thank you.
Might be a quick morning. It's okay. My dog started barking. I had the craziest dream in the world, and I woke up because I was in the back seat. Somebody had drugged me. And I couldn't get out. I couldn't breathe because I was in the back seat and I was fixing to pass out. And I woke up, and then the dogs were barking on that wrong side of the back seat. I have really, really detailed. I can tell you, I could spend 30 minutes about the dream was crazy last night.
Cindy Jackson, she's already pled. You were just gonna pronounce sentence today, so technically she doesn't have to be.
Okay. And then let's keep moving down the line. Is there anybody else in custody that you have? I'm trying to give people a chance to get here, but they're not cooperating.
Did you call Miss Vandiver yet?
Did you call her 3 times or just, okay, so Miss Vandiver, we've called. I haven't formally called it.
She has left a message with my answering service and says that she thinks she has COVID. And I saw Brandy across the hall, and she's reaching out to her trying to get something to submit, and said she asked if she could appear by Zoom, but I know what the court's going to ask for. So
I mean, if she gives me proof, or
Right.
something, I don't want her in here. Well, I mean, I could care less, but I don't want anybody else to get it.
that's my recollection as well, off the record. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna call it, and then again, you know me, I'm pretty understanding if they've got a good reason, but it seems like lately certain bonds people that just don't get their people here. All right, CR 20-0570-392, the state of Texas versus Jennifer Vandiver. Is there a Jennifer Vandiver in the courtroom? I see no one, I hear no answer. Her name's already been called 3 times in the lobby. There's not a Jennifer Vandiver appearing via Zoom. Mr. Green stated that at least the bondsman indicated to him or communicated to him that she may have COVID. So what I'll do is the court's going to entertain a motion, and I'll take it under advisement. The court will entertain a motion.
Judge, I'm gonna request a bond.
Granted, capious issue, she'll be held with no bond, and I'll reconsider that ruling if she shows up.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Yes, sir. That kind of frees you up to go do what you have to do without waiting.
I'll be across the hall for at least a few minutes.
Yes, sir.
We don't have much going on.
Do we know where Mr. Stevens is?
He had to go out to the parking lot.
Oh, that's right. I was thinking no. Okay. All righty. I'll hold off on Cassandra Jack. What do you mean I was waiting to pronounce sentence on her? Oh, there's Mr. Mills right there. What's the deal with Miss Jackson? What will we do?
Well, let me see what the latest is.
I can hear y'all so much better now.
I was trying to put the sheet under.
Yeah, we still need to probably take that railing. It takes a special bit to get in there, doesn't it? Real narrow.
Yeah, I'll have to get an extender, but I don't know what it looks like under there, so.
Did you ever hear back from maintenance?
Yeah.
We requested maintenance last week, and they literally told us Thursday, was it Wednesday or Thursday? Wednesday, they said, we're on our way. And they said, judge is about to kick it out. They said, hey, we are on our way. I mean, literally, it said they were on their way, and that was Wednesday. We haven't seen them yet.
Are we gonna check on them?
Well, I saw, who's the head maintenance guy? I saw Rick in the Lowe's yesterday. And if I'd have thought about it, I would say, hey, are you still on your way over there? I didn't recognize him. He had a big old beard.
I don't have to time to wait on him for 2 months to get over here.
He's on his way.
He's on his way. Headed that way now.
It's like, yeah, my client's right outside.
Somewhere.
Oh,
Sorry.
So she's on her way. Literally on my way
I hope she
Headed
beats
this way.
maintenance here.
from Garland. Had to get a ride this morning. And so I'm not sure when she's gonna be here.
What were we doing? though?
I think we took her plea
Uh-huh.
and you'd already found her guilty. And you had just said you were gonna pronounce sentence today. Because she had some
She needed
health
time.
issues,
Okay.
it's a 30-day county time sentence.
I got you.
And so she needed some time, her son was real sick or something. And so that's what you just I asked if she could report to jail.
Yeah, it's just easier for me to pronounce.
Right, and you said, no, I'll just wait and pronounce it on and reset it for that.
Well, I
So,
could have saved her some heartache because if I ended up forfeiting her bond, at least it's not an escape.
right. So,
Another felony
so
charge.
however the court wants to do it, she says she's on her way.
Well, I'm gonna do it like I'll do the other ones. I'll go ahead and call it. And then again, if she shows up, I'll reconsider because I'm not here this afternoon, just this morning.
Right.
Because I think we didn't want to interfere with Judge Calhoun's dockets and all that, did we? I don't know why it's scheduled like that. All right, the CR 20-0355-173, the state of Texas versus Cassandra Jackson, set for sentencing today. Is Ms. Jackson in the courtroom? I see no one. I hear no answer. There's no one other than the court hearing via Zoom. Her name's already been called 3 times in the lobby. There was no answer. The time is now 9:13. Docket was set at 9 a.m. The court will entertain a motion.
State request bond forfeiture.
Granted, a capious issue should be held with no bond. And again, if you
If
here
she,
all morning, I'll reconsider.
okay, well, I've got to go to Tyler here in a minute to get COVID tested. So if she does happen to show up, I can just, you'll send me a text or something. I can zoom in. If the court's here, we can do it. If not,
COVID tested.
we're going on vacation. You got to get
Yeah,
tested before you can go. Apparently,
Or you gotta be chipped.
yeah. Even though I've been vaccinated, still got to get tested.
They won't take the card?
Uh-uh.
I had to do that when we flew to Destin. And then when I was at the conference, I had to test every single morning. I had to get up and go to some tent outside and they would test me.
And then I have 2 more. I don't know if we're quite ready on those.
I've got Alyssa Armstrong.
Yeah, and Coates, they're both police.
Okay, let's just start at
Or
Ladies
Coates
first,
is a
start
re-
at the top.
Coates is a revocation.
I'm sorry.
Coates is a revocation plea.
Okay.
And then that was a regular plea.
No, I'll just start at the top of the docket with Alyssa Armstrong if we're ready on that. You ready, man? Come on up. I only got half my vaccination card filled out, so I didn't do that. You're gonna be stuck. You're not gonna be able to go anywhere. It's gonna be like the Underground Railroad. We're gonna have to. You don't have to test, you don't have to go to Vegas. Last time I checked it was. All righty, let's see what we're doing here. All right. This is cause number CR 20-0451-173, the state of Texas versus Alyssa. Is it Alyssa or Alisa?
Elisa.
Alisa Marie Armstrong. And this is set for status today. However, a plea has been presented to the court. Is state ready?
State's ready, Your Honor.
And on behalf of Ms. Armstrong,
We're ready.
right, ma'am, is your name Alisa Marie Armstrong?
Yes, sir.
And you can pull that mask down a little bit if you don't mind. And are you the same person that was originally indicted by Henderson County Grand Jury for the 3rd-degree felony offense of possession of a controlled substance?
Yes, sir.
I can get you to raise your right hand, please, best you can. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give now on trial will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
You can lower your hand. Ms. Armstrong, can you read and write the English language?
Yes, sir.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, sir.
If it turns out you're not, and you enter into this plea bargain with the state, it can have certain negative immigration consequences. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
And Ms. Armstrong, have you ever been treated for any mental health or emotional issues?
No.
You understand what's going on in here today? And Mr. Mills, do you believe your client is competent?
Yes, Judge, she is.
Court finds she is competent. Ms. Armstrong, I know that you've already been arraigned on this case. However, do you want the prosecutor to read the indictment out loud here in the courtroom?
No, Judge, we'll wait then.
And the plea bargain?
Thank you, Judge. The indictment was a 3rd-degree enhancement to the joint punishment. We're going to abandon that enhancement paragraph, making this a true 3rd-degree. The agreement is for 5 years TAC plus fees and court costs and 180 restitution.
Is that your understanding of the plea bargain, Ms. Armstrong?
Yes, sir.
And is that your understanding, Mr. Mills?
Yes, sir.
Well, Ms. Armstrong, a few minutes ago, you told me you could read and write the English language. I don't think I went over range of punishment with her.
Nope.
Man, the range of punishment on this, without any enhancement paragraphs, is a third-degree felony. A third-degree felony carries a punishment range of not less than 2 years or more than 10 years in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice and a fine not to exceed $10,000. You understand the range of punishment? All right. Well, a few minutes ago, you told me you could read and write the English language. I'm going to show you 2 documents. The first is the agreed plea recommendation. Did you read and go over both the front and the back with Mr. Mills? And did you sign the front and back? Any questions about it? The next document I'm showing you is the court's admonishments and warnings prior to entering a guilty or no contest plea. Did you read and go over both of those pages of that document? You got to answer out loud.
Yes, sir.
And did you sign the second page?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions about it?
No.
Do you have any questions about any of the documents you went over with Mr. Mills?
No.
Well, if you read and went over these with him, I know that he explained to you that you have many constitutional rights, including the right to trial by jury. Do you want a jury trial?
No, sir.
Do you want to waive your right to a jury trial and enter into this plea bargain?
Yes, sir.
Then I'll ask you, ma'am, how do you plead to that third-degree felony offense as alleged in the indictment? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty and for no other reason?
Yes.
I'll hear the evidence.
Thank you, Judge. State offers in the evidence states 1, states 2, and states 3. States 1 is the offense report. States 2 is Morton discovery compliance, and states 3 is the lab report.
No objection.
Admitted.
Rest and close, Your Honor.
Good rest, John.
All right, then, Ms. Armstrong, based upon your guilty plea and the evidence, the court has enough evidence to find you guilty and does find you guilty of that third-degree felony offense as alleged in the indictment. The court has granted the state's motion to abandon any enhancement paragraphs. The court will follow the plea bargain, sentences you to 5 years in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice with credit for 82 days, and orders you to pay your attorney's fees and court costs as well as your DPS restitution. And a couple more things to go over with you, Ms. Armstrong. First is, did you have an opportunity to review that judgment of conviction in your case? Was your name, the charge, and the time credit correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, ma'am. And now that you've been finally convicted of this felony offense under Texas law, you're now ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition. If you have any questions, consult an attorney. Ma'am, you're now remanded back to the custody of the sheriff for transport to the appropriate authorities to serve out your sentence. Good luck to you, Ms. Armstrong. You need to see the bailiff to be printed. How much they charge you to do that COVID test? Is it free?
I don't know.
You'll find out when you get there. Because I know it's typically free, but if you're traveling, maybe they
I don't know. It
charge.
seemed like I got one before and they asked for your insurance card for
Yeah.
some reason, which I figured, why would they ask for your insurance card if it's free? So I don't know. So
Somebody's making money somewhere.
Yeah, right.
All right, next we've got Cody Coates. All right, this is cause number CR 18-0395-392, the state of Texas versus Cody Coates. And this is set today on a motion to proceed a plea, and it's the state ready.
State's ready, Your Honor.
And on behalf of Mr. Coates,
We're ready, Judge.
sir, is your name Cody Coates, Cody Matthew Coates?
Yes, sir.
And are you the same person? Can you pull that mask down for me? And are you the same person that was placed on probation out of this court back in September of 2018?
Yes, sir.
I can get you to raise your right hand the best you can, sir. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
Right, you can lower your hand. Mr. Coates, can you read and write the English language?
Yes, sir.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, sir.
If it turns out you're not, and you enter into this plea bargain with the state, it can have certain negative immigration consequences. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Coates, have you ever been treated for any mental health or emotional issues?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand what's going on in here?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Mills, do you believe your client is competent?
Yes, sir.
Court finds he is competent. Mr. Coates, have you been served with a copy of the state's motion to proceed with adjudication in your case?
He has, Your Honor.
That
I think we
document
served
right
back
there?
Yes, sir.
All those-
Court last time.
All right, and has it been longer than 10 days?
Yes, sir.
And do you understand what it is that the state says you did or failed to do while on probation to violate it?
Yes, sir.
And do you need the prosecutor to read the counts in the courtroom?
No, sir.
But you understand them,
Yes, sir.
all 10 of them,
Yes, sir.
and the plea bargain in the case?
Thank you, Judge. The state moves to abandon counts 1 and 2 as part of the plea agreement. The plea agreement on counts 3 through 10 on the plea of truth is 6 months state jail plus fees, court costs, 180 restitution to DPS, and $1,000.
Is that your understanding of the plea bargain, Mr. Coates?
Yes, sir.
And is that your understanding, Mr. Mills?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Coates, a few minutes ago, you told me you could read and write the English language. I'm going to show you a document here. On the front is the agreed sentencing recommendation. That's the one that has your plea bargain on it. Did you read and go over that with Mr. Mills?
Yes, sir.
And did you sign it?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions about it?
Yes, sir.
On the back are certain admonishments and waivers concerning the state's motion. Did you read and go over that with Mr. Mills?
Yes, sir.
And did you sign it?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions about it?
No, sir.
Do you have any questions about any of the documents that you signed related to this plea?
No, sir.
Well, if you read and went over these with Mr. Mills, I know he explained to you that you have a statutory right to have a hearing in this case. And at that hearing, if the court found that you did violate any of these, if the court found it were true, any of these counts were true, then you could do a lot better or a lot worse than the 6 months. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
However, if the court didn't find any of them true, you'd just be left on probation. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Do you want a hearing?
No, sir.
Do you want to waive your right to a hearing and enter into this plea bargain?
Yes, sir.
Then I'll ask you, sir, how do you plead to counts 3 through 10 of the state's motion to proceed? Are those things true or not true?
True.
And are you pleading true because they are true and for no other reason? I hear the evidence.
Thank you, Judge. I believe you've already been into the state's 1, which is the plea of truth stipulation.
No objection.
Admitted.
Nothing for the rest of the court.
With rest.
Right, Mr. Coates, then based upon your pleas of true and the evidence, the court has enough evidence to find them true and does find counts 3 through 10 true. The court will follow the plea bargain, finds you guilty of the state jail felony offense as alleged in the indictment, revokes your probation and sentences you to 6 months in a state jail felony facility with credit for 68 days as of today, and orders you to pay your fine, attorney's fees, court costs, and lab fee, and all prior fees that were owed on this case, including the restitution to DPS. And Mr. Coates, just a couple more things to go over with you. Did you get an opportunity to review the judgment in your case?
Yes, sir.
Was your name, the charge, and the time credit correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, sir, now that you have been finally found guilty of this offense, you are now under Texas law ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition. Those are legal terms. If you have any questions, consult an attorney.
Yes, sir.
All right, sir, you're now remanded back to the custody of the sheriff for transport to the appropriate authorities to serve out your sentence. Good luck to you, Mr. Coates. Need to see the bailiff to be printed. This felt like I forgot something in there, but it goes pretty quick. I saw your face and I had the same look.
So I'll be by my phone in case, or when Ms. Jackson gets in.
When she was, okay. All righty. I'll make sure I did. Got a little cheat sheet, but I haven't used it in a couple of years. No, that's why I do it, according to my script. I guess it's just been so long, or done one, we don't do a whole lot of them lately. All right, well, I'm gonna take a recess. If somebody shows up, Mr. Stevens comes in from his car from Zoom.
I was watching Judge Moore's YouTube and Mr. Stevens is done, so we should be.
Oh, he is done?
He should, yeah, he got it off, so.
Unless he's next door.
Yeah, we're not gonna-
Is Mr. Stevens next door?
We just got off Zoom court with Judge Moore, so he should be around. He was on Zoom in the parking lot.
Y'all come get me when he gets here.
I just saw the example.
Saying that these three were on texture, but I guess I think they're actually submitted. So they're old stuff.
We went into recess.
I know it's the best now.
This is a court document. It's not a file.
I know.
I ain't forgot. I was asking. So he said. Yeah, he goes.
The new one.
It's fine. I don't have that discovery yet anyway. So I wasn't. Not at all. Okay, great. All right, great. There's somebody else that works at Warren's office. She was here on my last. Well, she anyway, she was here for somebody. That was really yeah, I was gonna tell her. Yeah. Trial. Thanks, man. I'll take care of it. Okay.
Yeah, no back brace on the first, I think. Race on the block. Killing the whole.
But what had happened was I did, everything was right. Yes, but.
Like they poop.
I didn't know. It just slipped. I figured April was when she was. And she did not throw it. She was. But I was fine.
Everybody on
Sure. I don't like that.
I need a family picture. Right. You know, I got it on there.
Yeah, cheetah print.
Or not, I'm sorry. I think they're thinking of four. They're only three. They're all three. Yeah, 4 people total. Yeah.
But I've had a lot of those. Balance it all out.
Yeah, I didn't bring her last week. She was getting ready for
I
this,
need it.
so they were still bringing her.
I don't need
I wonder where she's going. So if they're just bringing her back, so she at least has every day. And they work on the leaves. Yeah, I was afraid. I think she sat with me and then she didn't know it was coming. So I think now she like kind of knows what you're asking for. We're gonna try this happy coffee. I may try another one. I know we.
I bet that was fun.
You.